Jodu Malik had arrived at his garden house next to the Kali temple. He sent for the master. Adhar too had arrived from Calcutta, and he saluted Sri Ramakrishna. The master asked Latu to light the lantern and accompany him to Jodu's garden. Master to M. Why didn't you bring Norun with you? M. Shall I come with you? Master. Do you want to come? Adhar and the others are here. All right, you may come. Will the Mukherjees also come with us? To the Mukherjees. Come along. Then we can leave Jodu Malik quickly. The master went to Jodu's drawing room. It was a well-furnished room with everything spick and span. The lamps were lighted. Jodu was sitting with his friends and playing with the children. Servants were in attendance. Smiling, Jodu welcomed Sri Ramakrishna, but he did not get up. He treated the master as a friend of long acquaintance. Jodu was a devotee of Gauranga. He had just seen a performance of Gauranga's life at the Star Theatre and told the master about it. The master listened to his account joyfully and played with the children. M and the Mukherjee brothers sat near him. In the course of the conversation, Sri Ramakrishna told Jodu that Adhar had not been able to secure the post of vice chairman of the Calcutta municipality. Jodu said that Adhar was still young and could try for it again. At his request, the master sang a few songs about Gauranga. After the music was over, the Mukherjees were about to take their leave. The master too was ready to go, but he was in an ecstatic mood. On coming to the porch, he went into Samadhi. The gatekeeper of the garden house was a pious man. Now and then he invited the master to his house and fed him. Sri Ramakrishna stood there in Samadhi, and the gatekeeper fanned him with a large fan. Ratan, the manager of the garden house, saluted the master, and Sri Ramakrishna, returning to the consciousness of the relative world, greeted the manager and the gatekeeper, saying, Narayan. Then, accompanied by the devotees, he went back to the temple garden through the main gate. Master, to the Mukherjees, pointing to M. Please visit him often. Mukherjee, smiling. Yes, henceforth he will be our teacher. Master, it is the nature of the hemp smoker to make merry in the company of another hemp smoker. He will not talk even to an Amir, but he will embrace the wretched hemp smoker if he happens to meet one. All laugh. It was about 9 o'clock. The Mukherjee brothers saluted the master and went away. Audhar and M sat on the floor in the master's room while he talked to Audhar about Rakhal. Rakhal was staying in Vrindavan with Balaram. The master had learnt from a letter about Rakhal's illness. He was so worried about him that 2 or 3 days earlier he had wept before Hazra like a child. Audhar had sent a registered letter to Rakhal, but had received no reply. Master to Audhar. Narun has received a letter from Vrindavan. Why haven't you received a reply to yours? Audhar. I haven't yet heard from Vrindavan. Master. M has also received a letter from Vrindavan. They began to talk of Sri Ramakrishna's seeing a play at the Star Theatre about the life of Gauranga. Master, smiling. Jodu told me that one could see the play very well from a 1 rupee seat. Footnote. In spite of his great wealth, Jodu Molik was very miserly. Footnote ends. Very cheap. Once we were talking about going to Panihati. Jodu wanted me to go in a country boat with a whole crowd of passengers. All laugh. Formerly, he liked to hear a little about God. But I don't see Jodu much nowadays. He is always surrounded by flatterers. They have spoiled him. He is a man of a very calculating nature. I would no sooner set foot in his house than he would ask me, "How much is the carriage hire?" Footnote. It is customary for a householder in India to pay the carriage hire of a holy man when the latter visits his house. Footnote ends. I would say, you don't have to bother about it. You may give 2.5 rupees. That would keep him quiet. All laugh. It was late. Audhar was about to depart. The master asked M to bring Narun with him.